When did you start doing it after having a baby? Hi, beautiful people. Welcome to the Coach Thyna show. I'm basically doing my first Q&A, and the reason is because I have received some new mentees. I have a whole new circle, and I thought to give you all the chance to ask me questions. Some people went really personal with their questions, and I'll answer them. Right now I have 11 questions and we're going to answer them. The first question here says, when did you start doing it after having a baby? Doing it. That's a big question. So during marriage counseling, and this is why I always encourage you people to get counseling before you get married, they told us that the time when your wife is pregnant, as a husband, you have to be patient with her, you have to be understanding. For us, we already had information about our bedroom life before we got married. 2 months after getting married, we got pregnant. What we did was we were deliberate about our bedroom life. I remember telling someone that we broke our bed while we were pregnant, and it was so funny to her, like, because extra weight and all of that, right? So after we gave birth, I had a really traumatic birthing experience. So this means I did not have all the cute hospital pictures and so when we left the hospital and we came back home, we didn't have it for the first 3 weeks or 4 weeks thereabout. But I always tell ladies, if you have your mouth, this mouth that God has given to you, then you can have it as often as you want. Don't ask me what I mean. As long as you have your mouth, you can satisfy your partner right after having a baby. So even while I was getting healing down there because I had cesarean section, my mouth didn't need healing. So what are we talking about? If you're mature enough, you will get the gist. If you are not mature, then wait till you get mature and watch this video again. When you grow older, watch this video so you can understand that your mouth is a gift from God in your marriage. Number 2 question, do you miss me? Do I miss you? Now, this is someone I know, and when she sent this message, I was laughing because I used to be really close with this person, right? And suddenly she just started to grow cold. And I want to encourage people, right? When you see that your friends are growing in their work, in their business, it's not the time to grow cold towards them. You might come across as though you're jealous of them or, things are not well with you seeing them excel. This is a clear message to all my friends who are not as close to me anymore. I am still the sweet Justina who is spicy every time, but you might not understand that my life has changed, that I'm married now, I have a child, I have work, I have my businesses. So to answer your question, I do miss you in the term of missing you, but if you don't follow the flow of the growth that I'm experiencing, you might be left behind. So there's nothing wrong with reaching out to me, checking up on me, asking me you want to come over and spend time with me, bring ice cream. I mustn't say this on YouTube, my coach might be watching. Bring something nice, bring cucumber. And they will eat cucumber together and talk about, life. Basically, I want you to know that when you grow out of friendship with someone, it's not because they hate you or they don't like you. It's simply because their life has changed. Now, you changing your ideology about that friendship and how much do you want it? How badly do you want it? Because the truth is, no matter how busy I get, there are people that I still have to reach out to. So reach out to the people that you know that you still want to maintain friendship with. All right? A lot of people that I used to know, they follow me on Instagram. They just watch me now. They don't even like, they don't even comment. When it was my son's birthday, some people were just watching my story on his birthday. They didn't say happy birthday to him. Now, I didn't mind because, people grow cold towards each other. So that's fine. But yes, I miss you. I don't miss you the way that people in romantic relationship miss each other. But everybody that has ever come into my life, I see people as a gift from God. So you are one precious gift to me. If you were my friend in the past and you're not there anymore, you're still precious, all right? Number 3 question, what app do you use to edit your YouTube videos? Okay, so I use my iPhone. I have the iPhone 14 Pro Max. I use it to shoot my videos and then edit it on the camera roll, literally. After I edit it on my camera roll with the effect I want it to have, then I send it to my husband and he uses iMovie to cut and, to finalize the work. This 4th question says, I've been dating my partner for 8 years, but he hasn't said anything about marriage. What should I do? I didn't think you guys were going to ask me questions about partner and no partner. Okay. How old are you? That's the first question. You're not getting any younger, even though you are 22 and you've been dating this guy for 8 years, which would be illegal to have been dating someone for 8 years and you're 22. But what you want to do now is ask yourself the hard questions. If he was going to marry me, why aren't we married now? Men are too driven for them to be in your life and you can't feel that energy from them. When a man wants something, he wants it really bad. It is up to you to look in between the lines and be sure that this guy's action is tallying with his words. They are correlating. When he says he loves you, he's acting it out. Okay? 8 years is a very long time. As a relationship coach and a marriage counselor, I always advise people to stay in the bracket of 1 to 2 years, right? Because we're made of flesh and you're going to be, really attracted to this person. What are we talking about? This is someone you intend to spend the rest of your life with. So don't stay in long-term undefined relationship, all right? Let him define your relationship from the start. Let us know what we're getting into. Let us know what we're doing. 8 years is a very long time. You'd have been a doctor by now if you used it to study medicine. So yes, find out what he needs to do. If I'm going to tell you straight up from this video without getting to coach you or anything, I'll say leave today, leave now, because 8 years is a long time. The energy has dropped. He's not interested. So why waste your time? All right. Number 5, why do you not post your handsome son often? Okay. I could just think about this question for a whole week because there are so many things I don't post at all. The fact that I posted my son for his birthday was because I and his father thought about his extended families who are like far away, nations apart, and we want them to, celebrate with us, and that's why we posted his birthday. If everyone in our circle was in the country and things like that, we probably would have not thought it was necessary to post his birthday. But every other day, I make videos of him. Mothers, right? We make videos of our babies every other day. Why do I not post them? I don't see the need to. If I was a content creator who has a motherhood feeding kind of page where I'd post what I made for my baby today, what my baby is wearing, maybe I'd post him more. But right now, as a relationship coach, I don't see a need to post him. Now, I post myself and my husband quite a lot because that inspires other people to desire a godly marriage. If not, I wouldn't even post my husband, to be honest with you, because I don't really see the need. Everything that really matters to me stays with me, right? I don't need to show everyone that it matters to me, my personality. And that's why I don't judge other people who desire to post their babies. And you know what's incredible? If you watch my siblings' WhatsApp status, you always see my son there. They're always posting him because I don't think, we need to hide him. Yet there is not a need to put him out there every time, So that's one thing that I would encourage you to do if you're a young parent or if you're still single, right? Post only the things that are necessary. Enjoy your life in privacy, not in secrecy, but in privacy. That's why we could post his birthday. We're not hiding him, but we don't have to post what he's eating, what he's wearing, where he's going. Children should be safeguarded. Number 6, will you ever go back to Nigeria? This is the hardest question on this list because I have an emotional connection with Nigeria. I mean, that's where I was born, right? And I like Nigeria for what it stands for. But going back to Nigeria right now as we speak is not something I'm looking to do anytime soon. If I get an email or an invitation today to speak somewhere in Nigeria, to do a relationship coaching session, to have to go to Nigeria, I would go right away. Yes. But going to Nigeria for leisure and, for vacation is not anything I'm looking forward to doing anytime soon. So yes, Nigeria is home and I would go if I want to, when I want to, but right now it's not on my list. Number 7, what are the 3 things you like about yourself and 3 things you don't like? I should have actually thought about these questions before turning on the camera. 3 things I like about myself is I love my privacy, so it makes me never need anyone. I like that about myself. I could be in my house for a whole year, 10 years, and not need anyone. I kid you not. I kid you not. It's actually so crazy because people would always want to need and gum body, right? But I'm the opposite of that. That's one thing that I like about myself. Now, was I born this way? No. I actually used to need a lot of friends, in fact, as a child. And I think this is as a result of how I grew up. So as a child, most of my friends left without telling me. So my best friend at 3, her name was Kimberly. They moved out. She didn't tell me. They moved out of the building we lived in. She didn't say anything. Then my next friend, when I was 5, I don't want to call her name. She passed. So she was in the fire, the next building, the next flat, and she passed. What am I saying? Just sharing the story. I don't even know. Friendships have just been not so easy for me because my best friend at 3 leaving, my best friend at 5 passing, my friends when I turned 7, 8, 9, 10 around, they changed church. They were my church members. They changed church. One of my best friend, Ifani, I used to go to church with them. They moved out. A lot of my friends were just leaving. What's happening? I remember crying. Every time I make a friend, they leave. So now I've grown older. I've just become my best friend. And that's one thing I really love about myself, that no matter what the situation is, I am completely in excitement to be with myself. Yeah. And another thing I like about myself is I'm quite direct. I'm straightforward. So I say A and I really mean it. Some people struggle with that, but I don't struggle with being truthful and transparent. Now, was I always truthful and transparent? No, actually. But self-development is what makes you become who you want to be, regardless of who you were before. So that's another thing I like about myself, being straight to the point, direct. And it helps me as a coach because when I see a problem, right, I don't try to make them book sessions and sessions because I want to, just sit down and talk about every other thing but the problem. So I go straight to the problem and we deal with it, and they are excited. In fact, yesterday, someone I was coaching told me this, and this is the first time someone has ever told me this. It got me so emotional. She said, and I quote, "Coach J, you charge us so little for the impact you made." My heart pounded 3 times in 1 second. Kick, 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 kick. I was so excited that finally we have gotten there where people know that it's time that she increases her fee. When your clients tell you need to increase your fee, you're doing an incredible job. So that's another thing that I love about myself. I don't make people pay me because I want to be paid. I let them pay because they know the value they get, and we go straight to the point on counseling or on relationship coaching. The third thing I like about myself is that I'm a child of God. I don't even want to be anybody's sister, cousin, friend if I'm not a child of God. I don't even want to be married and not be a child of God. Let me tell you, the thing that makes marriage easy for me is the fact that I'm a child of God, that I'm saved, and I love it about myself, that sometimes life will throw some things at you and you just have the word of God to back you. You have the God confidence. That's what I should have mentioned number 1, because I love it so much that I am a dogged person in my faith. I have built my faith since I became born again. I was born a Christian, but I became born again at 12 or 13, I guess. And it's been a beautiful journey developing myself in Christ. That's one thing I really, really love about myself. I'm a proud daughter of Zion. Now, 3 things I don't like about myself. First of all, I eat a lot and I cook really well, so they don't go hand in hand. When people say, when I cook, I can't really eat. Me, I can cook and finish the pot in 1 second. Now, the reason why I haven't even become like an elephant is because of my genes, I'm telling you, and also because of who I married. So my husband is not really thrilled by food. He's always calling fasting this week, fasting that week. So these are the 2 things really keeping me in shape. But yeah, I don't like the fact that I have a huge relationship with food. I want it to be, limited by God Almighty. Now, the second thing I don't like about myself is, the person who asked this question, You're looking for trouble. The second thing I don't like about myself is that I raise my voice at my baby. He's small, he doesn't really know a lot about life, but I act like he does. So I'm saying, can't you see that electric is on? Can't you leave that place with water? I'm just always raising my voice. And every time my husband says I'm raising my voice, do you know what I do? I apologize. I say, I'm sorry. I mean, we all have baggages in it. So yes, I don't like the fact that I raise my voice unnecessarily. Now, I raise my voice when good things happen. When I want to praise my God, I also do that. So every good gift comes with its own side effects, right? So yeah, I have a loud voice when I'm happy, and it also comes through when I'm not so thrilled. The third thing I don't like about myself is the fact that I don't send anybody. Sometimes I wish I could send people a little more, like now I'm doing Project Mbappe with my baby. He's just one. And I'm like, energy is too much. And this is incredible because I used to be so emotional as a child. So I was born a phlegmatic, but now I'm a choleric. So I recently did the temperament test 2 days ago, and my choleric is even more than it was the last time I did the test. So I'm becoming more of a choleric by the day. I don't know if it's my job as a coach that's sharpening me and shaping me, but sometimes I wish I could be, softer and cooler. But I mean, everything works together for our good, innit? Number 8, how did you help 24 with his finances? This is a fantastic question. Now, I have a full video on my YouTube, How God Prepared Me for Marriage. In that video, I said that I used to squander money a lot. I never used to have savings. Literally, to go to church, most times, I need to believe God for transport fare. It's not like I didn't know that I would go to church on Wednesday or on Sunday, but my relationship with money was so bad. So how did I finally help someone else? Not even myself. It's the wisdom of God that helped me. That's why I don't tell people to pray for marriage and pray for marriage. I always tell them to build themselves in God. Because when I started to build myself in God, you know what happened? I started to give more in church. And when I gave more in church, not because of the church, for myself, if you can release your money to a cause, you are an excellent person with money, trust me. Because if everything you have is all you have, then you don't have anything. So I wanted to stop having all that is in my bank account, because the Bible says that wherever your treasure is where your heart will be. So I wanted to stop looking at my earthly physical cash. So I started to give more. This helped me gain mastery of my money and my income. Now, how did I help 24? I simply prescribed books to him that I had read before I met him. This is another reason why you need to develop yourself. I would literally just say, read this book, read that book. I didn't need to have a coaching session and a conference with him. Basically sharing with him what I have learned. And you, as a woman, you will also need to share with your husband what you have learned in your singleness. So get to work, girl. What do you use for your family communion? What we use for our family holy communion is bread and juice. So we use wine, sometimes non-alcoholic wine. So have your wine in your fridge and your bread. As a single person, you should start to take communion so that you can also imbibe it. When I was younger, I'd always, take communion when I'm not feeling so well or when I have like period cramps. Interesting thing, I don't have period cramps anymore. I always used to think to myself that when I get married, I can't wait for these period cramps to stop. They actually stopped after I had a baby. That's insane. I never believed it when people told me that the cramps would go after having a baby. Yes, so if you're currently struggling with cramps, they would go after you have a baby, right? So basically what happens is, why you have pains when you have your period is because your uterus is not open yet. You've never had a child or something. So when I don't want to call the name now, that red thing that comes out when you have your period, right? When it's trying to come out, right? Because it's tight in there, there is no release. So it stays under your abdomen and it's hurting you. After you have a baby, it's a journey. It gets like, it literally just comes out peacefully because your body is now open. Your uterus has now been exposed to childbearing. So yeah, that's what we use for communion. It helps you. Please get communion from your singleness so that you have a communion marriage. Number 10, at what point in the relationship should I ask about marriage? Well, it depends on who you are in a relationship with. If you enter a relationship with your friend, you can literally ask them anytime. So if you know anything about my husband and I, 24 and I, we had been friends for 5 days when he told me he was interested in me. Only 5 days. We've only met on the internet 5 days into knowing each other. That's a very short time usually. I would advise people to wait longer. But the reason why it was easy for him to ask me is because we had built friendship, like an unshakable friendship for the past 5 days. And I knew that if the lockdown, finally ends and we're not together anymore, then it's fine. If we're together, then it's fine. I was very nonchalant about the situation. So for 24, I was able to ask him any question because he was already my friend. When you're with your friend, you can ask them anything. You can tell them anything. So don't start an emotional relationship that you can't speak. I'm a certified matchmaker. And the reason why matchmaking sometimes doesn't work with certain people is because from when they are matched, they're only talking about the wedding and how many kids do you want to have. No, those are the secondary things. The primary things are the information you need. So it's not time for intercourse, it's time for interview. So you're interviewing them, what's your take on giving? What's your take on friendships? Should a male have female best friends? Should a female have her exes video calling her? All those things, people who get matched don't talk about it, and it's sad. So when I match people, when people really need that service, I make sure that they start from friendship and grow it to whatever they want it to be. All right. So yes, ask as many questions as possible. The worst thing that can happen is that they will leave or they will marry you. There are only two things that can happen. So be on the safe side and ask, so that if it doesn't work with this one, you're not spending all your lifetime waiting for them when you could have moved to the next person. There's always a better option for a good girl. Trust me. Number 11 says, would you rather be rich or famous? Would I rather be rich or famous? This is a beautiful question. I would rather be rich than famous. In fact, another reason why I didn't pursue my career with so much enthusiasm as a rapper was because I was scared of being famous. Now, when I was 16, I won a talent competition and I got pretty popular in my church and in my area, and I got so uncomfortable, so I wouldn't want to leave the house during the day. I remember not leaving the house during the day for about 3 years. I was 16 when I won the competition, so imagine 16, 17, 18, 19, I didn't really interact with people. I was always going my way. So I don't think being famous is one thing that I want for myself, trust me. But being rich, girl, we're getting closer to it every day. So yes, enjoy your money in silence. Nobody needs to know the brand you're wearing. You see how people wear clothes and they're tagging the brand. You won't see me doing that. I will tag Melek Island because it's our fashion brand, my husband and I. But I wouldn't tag all these people like, everyone see what I'm wearing. Know that I'm now earning a lot of money. You don't need that. Trust me. When you're broke, you really want to be associated as rich. When you finally get rich, you don't even want people to know. You just want to enjoy your life in peace. So I would rather be rich than famous. Oh yes, I would rather be rich than famous. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please tell me the question you got something from, and if you liked it. Comment your favorite thing about yourself. Yes, comment your favorite thing about yourself. That's a very good one. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. The Pinning Your Husband Down bootcamp starts on the 30th of September. If you're a young girl who desires to get married sooner than later, join without even looking back. Do you know why? Because a lot of people have testimonies from the previous bootcamp. We have one going on now. It ends the Saturday before the 30th. So you don't want to miss anything happening on the bootcamp. You don't want to be 30, 35, 40, and then you're wishing that you attended Coach J Thyna's bootcamp. If God did it for me and many other girls that I mentor, then He will do it for you. Use the link in my bio on Instagram and register. I will see you in class. Bye-bye.